2006 is upon us, and to start this list off, we have Shadow Shoot. If you thought Shadow the Hedgehog was the only game Shadow ever got, then clearly you've never heard of this one. The goal to this game is to shoot enemies, make your way to the end, and get a Chaos Emerald. It's a run and gun kind of game where you move Shadow around, and it looks cool. Of course, there is some differences between these games because Shadow Shoot never got a sequel, while the Shadow the Hedgehog game actually did get a sequel. In the form of comics. Sonic 3D Golf, a sequel to Sonic Golf. Well, this one looks better because for one thing, Sonic is physically in the game and playing golf, and even Dr. Robotnik is in the game acting as the game's shop for clubs and items, which is very amusing. But other than that, it's a more updated version of the original game. Sonic the Hedgehog 2! Yeah, I guess they got tired of re-releasing the first game so many times that they decided to give the sequel a chance. There are very few new features in this one, like a counter showing your rings and such, but other than that, it's just a port of the second game. Sonic 7 Narib, a game of Seren Narib on phones with Sonic characters thrown in. Who would have thought that Sonic and his friends would be addicted to so many card games? Speed DX. Well, there's nothing different here, it's just the same thing as Speed, just with slightly updated graphics. They even did the same thing to Sonic Speed DX. Yeah, recycle the same game 3 times, but add in slightly updated graphics. And finally, we have their final years in 2007, starting off with the port of Flicky. You know, that game where you play as a bird and save your bird friends from a cat and a lizard? Yeah, it's the same game, but on a mobile phone device. Sonic Reversi Hyper, the sequel to Sonic Reversi. And it's just the same game, just with updated graphics, and instead of a normal Chow, there's a Dark Chow in the game. Sonic Timing of the Train, or Sonic's Time Limit Train. At least this one's a little bit different. The goal to this game is that Sonic has to travel through Robotnik's train and make it to the end before the time runs out. He can perform attacks, collect rings, free animal critters, and so on. Looks like a decent game for a phone. Sonic Casino Poker. Well, aside from the fact that Sonic and his friends are addicted to playing card games, it looks like now they're starting to have an addiction for playing poker games, like gambling their money away. Maybe that's why these recent Sonic games have been doing so poorly. Also, who's this anime chick? I've never seen her in any other Sonic media. And that covers all the games released for Sonic Cafe. Well, kind of. Around 2009, they decided to update Sonic Putter and Sonic Bowling, even though technically they're not part of the library since the game service died out around late 2007 and such. But before I end this episode, I might as well cover some games released for Sonic Mobile. Sega Mobile is another mobile phone service made by Sonic Team, and it was actually released in the US and Europe in 2004, and I think it's still going. The selection of games are just ports of console games and games from Sonic Cafe, so there's only a few games that are worth mentioning on this episode. In 2007, we got Sonic the Hedgehog for the iPod. Yeah, as if we haven't talked about this game for the 9 millionth frickin' time. Aside from autosaves and unlimited continues, this version has a tutorial level, which sounds very pointless if you ask me. In 2008, we got Sonic Jump 2! Yeah, there's actually a sequel to that game. There are 7 levels, it has the same style of gameplay, and that's it, really. Wonder why Sega hasn't bothered remaking this one yet. That same year, we got Sonic at the Olympic Games, and, well, it's just a mobile phone port of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, minus the Mario characters. I would often sometimes joke about how R2 Sonic issue number 242 is an adaptation of this game, seeing as how both of these medias have Sonic characters participating in the Olympics, and they are both spin-offs and not canon to the actual source material. In 2009, we got a mobile phone port of Sonic Unleashed, the Sonic game I like but everybody hates. You've got your daytime stages, you've got your nighttime stages, and apparently the Egg Dragoon in this one looks like an egg fighter with a rocket pack on his back. Finally, we have Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games that was released in 2010. And, well, it's just a mobile phone port of one of the Mario and Sonic games, but with no Mario characters in it. But anyway, that covers all of the Sonic games that I'll be talking about in this episode. Some were interesting, and some were weird. And I wouldn't be surprised if Sega decided to remake any of these games, since nowadays they're making Sonic more exclusive to PC and mobile phones. And I still sit here waiting for a new Vector Man game. Well, that wraps up this episode of Forgotten Media, so this is Melting Man 234 signing out. everyone, MeltingMan234 here, and welcome to another episode. Darn it. Well, it's no surprise that I'm once again doing an episode related to Sonic the Hedgehog again, since, yeah, there's a lot of episodes that keep screwing up the lines. For today's Sonic topic, we're going to be looking at a mobile phone game service made by Sonic. Yeah, made by Sonic. But before I end this episode, I might as well end. Even though technically they're not part of the Sega Cafe. But before I end this episode, I might as well talk about some games released for Sonic Mobile. Is it mobile or mobile? Well, I'm just gonna pronounce it as Sega Mobile because that's how I've always pronounced it. And yeah, I don't care, I'm gonna piss off everybody either way, but still, word pronunciation is a bitch. Probably shouldn't have said bitch, but then again, this isn't the first time that I've cursed on Forgotten Media. I wouldn't be surprised if Sega decided to remake any of these games nowadays, since they're only making it's a bit of an itch that's screwing me up. Should have taken a shower. Great, I forgot the line. That covers all of the Sonic mobile phone games that just looks dumb, like, and then my arm just bends like that. Still, I sit here waiting for another Vector Man game. Well, anyway, great, I screwed it up. And here I sit here waiting for another Vector Man game. Completely botched the line there. Well, anyway, that covers all of the But anyway, that covers all of the canceled. I keep saying this isn't canceled media. But anyway, that covers all of the. I was about to say it again. Here I sit here. I keep saying here twice. I don't want to do that. But anyway, that covers all of the. I was about to say canceled again. And to think this episode doesn't have that many live-action segments, and yet I'm still screwing it up. Yeesh. But anyway, that covers all of the. That covers all of the Sonic games that were released for mobile phones that I'm dragging that out a bit. But anyway, that covers all of the. I guess I'm just more used to saying that. That covers all of the canceled blah 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 blah. And I wouldn't be surprised. I need to drink.